Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spin a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes Spider-Man. I don't have nobody here yet, but what it do? Welcome back to After the Snap. I'm your host, Tasha Pierce. This right here is Film Review Friday, where we review a film of the week. And of course, what other film could it be this week? It had to be Spider Man. So we will be talking about Spider Man No Way Home today. Spoiler free. I'm not about to intentionally ruin the experience that I had in the theaters, the wonderful experience that I had. I'm not about to ruin that for you guys. Uh, I know that a couple of my home skillets went to go see the movie, so you guys know exactly what I know, and that is, I guess we'll get into that in the review. So, how you doing, Davina? Davina is joining me from Facebook today. Shocked, shock, and surprise. Facebook. Got to get my tea ready. Hey, bud. What's up with you? I hope you guys. I know Davina had an opportunity to go see the movie. And again, it won't be no spoilers today. We gonna have a spoiler conversation. Uh, in a couple of, I guess, in a couple of days, we're gonna give it a chance for people to see it, and we're gonna make sure that we are not gonna ruin this thing for other people. I have been seeing an awful lot of people getting just out here dropping huge spoiler bombs on everybody. That ain't this ain't that type of party. I'm not about to ruin this movie for other people who have not yet seen it. So, what's the excitement level? Because I know, Lysandra, you haven't seen it just yet. What's the excitement level, though? I mean, I'm going to tell you, my excitement level was through the roof for this movie. It had been through the roof probably since they announced the movie. Davina, you went two places. Hello, everyone. Oh, no, I see one dropped off. Oh, okay. You could have stayed on Facebook. Shoot. Sometimes I need a caretaker over there sometimes. Even though it doesn't look like it was gonna be anybody over there but you today. So yeah. So yeah, my excitement level for this movie was through the flipping roof since they announced it. Since I knew the movie was coming. And the more we started to the the more we gosh, I'm just bathing in all of this wonderful. Okay, so I'm not going. I'm gonna give myself these flowers. I look amazing. Thank you. You know I had to do the spider thing. So, oh, and I'm the amazing Tosh, and you guys are my super friends. So yeah, the more we speculated as as fans, the more we speculated, the more exciting it got for me. Anyway, I'm just that type of person who I like to try to guess. And while I didn't successfully like make any of my little predictions didn't successfully come true, I'm 100% good with the result. Oh gosh, this tea was filled all the way to the top. Oh yeah, I was I'm I guess I'm speechless. I guess that's the way we have to put it. I am speechless about what we got today. And no, I'm not going to talk heavily about plot points or details, but I am going to talk about what this movie has achieved over these last couple of days. So I got Davina got up this morning at 8:45 and went to see this movie this morning. That is some dedication because I 8:45, I don't know. I think I might have been awake. I'm not sure. If I was awake, I hadn't been asleep yet. So there's that. Um, so those who saw it, as I know, I think Clarence saw it. I think Davina saw it. Oh gosh, Clarence, you are so correct. These people been dropping all kinds of bombs to include, again, my faves, new rock stars, to include them. Now I understand that you got to kind of be on it. You got to put your foot on the gas when these big movies come out. But on the, I'm like Reinhardt now, like on the thumbnail, man. You putting it on the thumbnail. So, not something that we're gonna worry about here when we do our spoiler conversation. And I'm hoping that you guys can agree with me that we need to do it soon. When I do the spoiler conversation, we won't be doing anything visual. So like if somebody tunes in, all they'll see is going across the bottom of the screen that that there are spoilers for Spider-Man. Thank you very much, Clarence, for reminding me to make sure I put those types of spoiler warnings up. But this is no spoilers here today. We're gonna talk about okay. In fact, I'll just read the review that I wrote. And it's a short review because again, I was trying not to drop any spoilers. Uh Spider-Man No Way Home was an emotional and fun homage to the character. It also closed out Tom Holland's Peter Parker arc in impeccable fashion. Many questions were answered, loose strings were tied up, and new developments that promise the characters will have room for continued growth. That was something I really liked about this film. In fact, this film will likely make fans rethink this entire trilogy. This is yet another well thought out cog in the MCU wheel. The after credit scenes also promise plenty of adventures until we meet Spidey again. This is a must see for any fan of the character, and I highly recommend, even for those who aren't. And it, of course, without any fanfare or making you wait, I'm gonna give it to you right up top. I gave this 5 stars, and I gave it 5 stars because it did exactly what you want uh, the last installment of a trilogy to do: tie things up, uh, put us in a position where we know, or we think we know, or we want to know even what this character gets into next. We also saw things set up for the supporting characters in this show, and we got to say some hellos and some goodbyes in this thing. So I thought this was well done. And again, if the entire trilogy makes sense now. So many people had complaints about certain parts of the trilogy. Why is he Iron Man Jr.? Why is he doing this? Spider-Man is a character that can stand on his own, and here we've got uh, a satisfactory ending to this arc for this character. I'm 100% here for it. I do want to hear what you guys think because I can't talk about too much. There was probably about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes that we can really dig into everything that we saw in the trailers. In fact, those are the only things that we could dig into without hitting spoiler territory. I'm going to pick up comments. Davina said she went at that time because no one was hardly there. Yeah, I, I couldn't wait a whole day. I am a hype when it comes to this type of stuff. She says she watched the new rock stars today, and it helped to understand it better. And that's good because that's what those shows are for. It only hurts people who didn't get up and go see it today, who weren't able to go the first day. Now, those people have to tiptoe around your content to include just the picture that you put up, because that itself is a spoiler. So that's what I was kind of disappointed about with New Rockstars and quite a few other channels. But it is what it is, and I can only control what I do over here. And that's one thing that I did not want to do. I didn't want to spoil it for anybody. Let me see what Clarence had to say about this movie. What a great way to close out Holland's Spider-Man, as well as doing justice to villains from the Sonyverse. While it feels like an end, it also feels like Peter has finally become a man. Yes, absolutely. This right here, it rounded out the arc. I don't want to give any plot points or details, even though I know out of those of us that are here, a few of us have seen it. I still don't want to give out no details. But Clarence, we see an eye to eye. I'm a 100% behind your assessment of this movie as well. Reinhardt, Cast 3200, thanks for joining us again. Yeah, spoiler free today. We just gonna be real surface. Reinhardt, you was pissed that you saw the doggone. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't get mad, but I'm disappointed, I guess, because I understand that that you're leaving money on the table if you don't talk about this thing in a spoiler manner kind of quick when you're a channel like that. But it's still not on the thumbnail. You could at least conceal that much of the information. Reinhardt said, we talked about that. It went, Tasha, you just don't do that. And there were quite a few who were guilty of it, but there were a lot of little channels that it just taking screenshots of the post-credit scene and were putting it out there. Yes, and Reinhardt, I'm gonna come back and make another piggyback off of what you're saying. Clarence, you can absolutely talk about the villains that we know are in the movie. Yeah. Yes. I had to think. Yeah. Reinhardt, what you're saying about these screenshots and about the people who recorded the end credit scenes and put that up, those are people who, how it's always that one person in the room. I might be that person that talk real loud and and real flamboyant because they just got to be seen. They got to be heard. That's them kind of people. I don't know how we get around it on YouTube. I know we can mute a whole lot of phrases and things like that, terms, hashtags. We can mute all of that on Twitter. I believe you can do the same thing on Instagram, but we shouldn't even have to do that. Literally, the day the movie, today is opening day, Today is opening day. Yesterday were just previews, and those of us who were lucky to see it in previews feel lucky because a lot of people got spoiled overnight. It's just, yeah. Even I'll even go as far as the some of the trades that I am so fond of. Some of the trades was dropping spoilers. So yeah, you just got to be real careful in the beginning. I'm going to pick up Kaz here. As someone who has not watched even a teaser trailer, I know Doc Ock and Dafoe's Goblin is in it, but I don't think Dafoe is a villain. Clara said Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn was amazing. That dude can act, and he loved it. And let me tell you, that was one of the things that I really and truly I appreciate it, because number one, we didn't get a half-ass performance from the big the big villains. We didn't get a half-ass performance. We got them really putting a lot of personality, a lot of effort into making these characters. And I know Willem Dafoe is probably like, this might be the last time this character is ever on the big screen. I'm going to throw my whole back into this. And he really did. I really appreciated his take this time. The other time, of course, was fantastic. But this time it was like, and I'm about to show y'all what Norman Osborn really is. Uh, Reinhardt said, personally, Tasha, I feel bad for other people more than I do myself. I actively seek out all the information I can get, but I have other friends. He's been avoiding commercial. He's been avoiding hearing. Uh, I feel bad for people like that who actively are trying to avoid any spoilers. And it's with social media, it's almost like you just got to stay off of it. I hate to say that there are certain behaviors I'm like, it's like blaming the victim. There are certain behaviors that we know that we shouldn't be engaging in just out of consideration for other people, but everybody doesn't do that. That's why I rush out first day for these Marvel movies. And yeah, because I don't want the spoilers. I just don't want to be spoiled. Um, Cass said, "Oh man, the Florida Project, me oh my." Claire said they all showed out. It's hard out here in these spoiler streets. Yes, it is. And Cass also said, even getting on the internet at all is a risk. Google News will give you spoilers. Everybody is dropping spoilers. Everybody got to be the first person to tell you what happened. I'm saying this. If you got the means, go see this flipping movie. If you are a fan of the other two movies, you will absolutely enjoy this movie. It was like Clarence said, all of the villains uh, gave us a good performance, beyond a good performance, because the villains that we knew that were in this movie, we know that they are not played by slouches. It I couldn't imagine them coming in and giving you this half-ass effort, and they didn't. And audiences recognize that. Tell me, there were certain parts in the movie, and of course, still no spoilers. But in my theater, the theater that I was in, there were a few parts in this movie where the theater completely erupted, and I was one of the eruptees. Tell me what the experience was in the theaters that you were in. Did the crowd get into it? Because the energy in that theater was palpable, and I hate to just keep saying I was here for it, but I was. The energy was, oh, hey, and we had a ball in that theater. We absolutely had a ball. Clarence said, I don't go on the internet on new movie days, Disney drop days, and Star Trek days. You probably are doing the right thing because everybody is out here trying to be first. Everybody. And Star Trek, I don't know if y'all watched it. I don't want to go into Star Trek. We go talk about Spider-Man. Reinhardt says, okay, here's how I feel about the movie. I'll give that movie a 99.99. I mean, not just overhyping it as a 53-year-old man who still remembers getting that Spider-Man cake for his 6th birthday. This movie made me feel like a child again. And let me tell you, I'm a 48-year-old woman sitting in a theater with a Spider-Man movie crying, literally crying. I don't know how many of you guys saw my fresh out of the theater reaction, but my little makeup was smeared. I literally sat in there and cried. So I know how you feel. It was just like, oh my goodness, we watched somebody grow up on screen, and it was at times it was so emotional, but at other times it was hilarious. It was like you just don't know. You it was pulling you between all of these emotions. It was just wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Uh Cass 3200 said Clerks 2 is oddly enough my best crowd theater experience. There was a gentleman pacing up and down the aisle laughing. Clara said the meeting at the table moment at Aunt May's house and the Doctor Strange portal moments. Yes. Uh, that one at the table at Aunt May's house when everybody in that theater, if I'm telling you, years ago, I probably would have jumped out of my seat. I can't jump that high no more. So it was just like a bounce for me. But it was fantastic. Angus is taking us into the Star Trek direction. We are treading very lightly because I don't know if everybody in this audience has watched it. Kovich is the best character ever introduced to Star Trek. I like Kovich a lot, but you know who I like more? The other new character that was introduced this week, treading lightly because I don't know how many people saw it. And plus, this one is about Spider-Man, Angus. But welcome to the show, welcome to the party. I'm glad you're here. Reinhardt said, "Oh, I'm straight up there, right there with you. I've I've been one of the I've been where one of the reviewers say she didn't feel that Garfield. You dropping spoilers, Reinhardt, for somebody who don't like spoilers. Me and you. And I got on my Spider-Man outfit." Kaz said, "Is this movie predictable in the sense that an educated movie fan could see the beats coming?" Um, let me see. Is it that predictable? No. No. Because some of the best, I guess, prognosticators out there got a lot of plot points right, but got a lot of them wrong. There were hidden surprises. Reinhardt, you dropping spoilers, honey. I'm gonna have to erase your comments. You doing the whole thing that you just complained about. Clarence even said spoiler. Yeah. And Kaz, yeah, don't read what Reinhardt said. I don't know if I can get him off. I can't block you, and I don't want to. I don't want to block you, and I don't want to put you in timeout. But you can't put spoilers in the comments. Angus, you haven't seen it yet. That's why we are attempting here to do a. My battery must be dying in my mouse. We're attempting here to do a non-spoiler conversation. Me and Reinhardt gonna have at it. That's what I'll be talking about. You can't be the first person to tell them. I think the battery. You said you thought we were talking about spoilers. No, don't do no spoilers. Yeah, this whole conversation is no spoilers. Man, my battery is dying and now I can't move my doggone mouse. I got batteries, but shucks. Let me see if this we're going to talk a little bit about we're going to talk a little bit about the money. You know, I like to talk about the money, even though it's not my money. I do rather enjoy discussing money. This thing made a whole lot of money already, like a whole lot of money. I am and I'm gonna come back and grab comments in just a second. I gotta see if this battery in this mouse is better than this one. Shucks. Hopefully it is. Shucks. Yeah, I think we're back in business. Clarence said it is, but all fan service is not bad fan service, and sometimes you make the movie worse by avoiding them. And then Clarence, I mean Reinhardt, you good? As long as we on the same page now. And Kaz, we're gonna be more careful moving forward. I apologize for that. Ask Star Wars, yeah. They know all about it. Oh, look, Kaz says, "Is that a spider shirt?" Yes, I'm Spider Tosh today. I don't know what the thanks doc mean. I'm hoping you're just saying thanks. You're welcome, right heart. You know, I got to get you though sometimes. I mean, you get a little excited. You just like me. Kaz says, "I'll be shocked if this does not end up being the number one movie since the whole pandemic happened." Well, guess what? You are very, very, I'm gonna say close to being right, but you're right. Because Spider-Man No Way Home is eyeing a $200 million plus opening, and it hopes to land among top 7 domestic debuts of all time. That is our midday update coming out of deadline. And I'm gonna share that with y'all as soon as I find, I cannot see. There it is. I don't have my glasses right here. Glasses that I got right here don't match my outfits, so I can't wear it. Oh gosh. But let's see. I want to share like this. Okay. So Spider-Man No Way Home is eyeing that $200 million opening. Hopes to land among top 7 domestic debuts of all time. We're gonna go into that as soon as this stupid ad skips. Don't you just hate these ads that just pop up? Okay, let's read it. According to industry midday estimates, not Sony, um, not Sony's estimates, I'm sorry, not Sony. Spider-Man No Way Home is easily headed towards an opening that's north of $200 million. Some have the John Watts directed MCU title between 238 million and 250 million. I'm told if the wheels fall off of Spider-Man and it nosedives 50% on Saturday, which you know it's not going to do, but if was a fifth, we'd be drunk, and Spider-Man would still comfortably land north of $200 million. Triple note, midday Friday estimates are always the most aggressive. Sony, I hear, already has $97 million in the bank for today. $97 million today, which should put the Tom Holland Zendaya picture between 115 million and 120 million, including, now y'all remember Black Widow was $13.2 million in on her preview night, and that was the highest during the pandemic. Right now, Spider-Man No Way Home has $50 million on its preview night. That is effing insane. Should a meteor hit the earth this weekend, and for some unexpected reason, Spidey is in the high $100 million range, there's no reason why we can't call that a phenomenal success, especially as we endure this ongoing pandemic. There's too much glowing word of mouth here. I'm picking up comments. Said Clarence said, "Is Feige the best or what? Kudos to his vision." Yes, because after watching that movie, you stuck there. I'm not gonna say stuck, because sometimes I do like just reading. I mean, reading the credits, but I'm sitting there stuck. Like, I'm not 100% sure I can get up because you get to thinking how far ahead this ending had to be planned for it to land the way it did. It wasn't something that, oh, we can do the next movie, we can do this. This was something that they had obviously put together uh once they realized that they would be able to have this character. This was a plan. This was not some slop together, thrown together mess. It was a plan. It was well executed. And for a lot of people who have a lot of complaints about the trajectory of this character, everything rounded out so nicely. It all ended the way it should have ended. And I am just flabbergasted at how many steps. I wouldn't want to play chess with the man. Let's put it like that. I'm not playing chess with you, Kevin Feige, because you already know like all the moves. You know all the moves. You know what I'm going to do next. You know what you're going to do next, and you know how the game is going to end. Cass says an all-time top 10 domestic opening in a pandemic. Yes, that is almost mind-blowing. Mind blown. Oh, that is bigger than a movie opening, bigger than a movie opening big. That speaks to the quality of films being released during the pandemic period. You know, a lot of people are not willing or weren't willing or ready to take a chance going into a theater. This this felt like uh Endgame. Felt like Infinity War. What I call, and I guess a lot of people may call it that too. I know I call these event films. This was an event film. It had that feel. Uh, I was scared to death because y'all know I get in my own head. I'm in here with all of these people, and after a while, I forgot. I forgot to even be anxious about the situation. It was that many people, and I'm not just talking about in the theater that I was in the screening. I'm talking about in the entire building. This place was packed with people. I haven't seen it like that since Avengers Endgame. I think yeah, Avengers Endgame is the last time, the first time I went to go see Avengers Endgame. That is the last time I saw the movies looking like that. Clarence says, good to see a lot of acting from Zendaya. Since I only saw her doing slow motion walking in Dune, right? And also, as Zendaya became more important to Peter, her role in the movies grew. The first movie was one thing. We hardly saw anything of her in the first movie. She had a few little zingers, and then it was like, for me, it was like she got like almost like not top billed, but she's one of the top billed actresses in this movie, and there's nothing. The second movie, we saw a little bit more of MJ. She became more important um, to Peter, thus she became more important to the story. And then in this final movie, uh, she is probably the one of the top two people in Peter's life, top three at the absolute least. And that is why she had so much screen time. We were able to see so much of what Zendaya brings to Mary Jane. Well, to MJ, not Mary Jane, to MJ. I was 100% here for her performance this time. I like to see more of her in the MCU, and Ned, for that matter. I like to see more of him in the MCU. I think this movie left the door open just enough to see for us to not expect, but for it to not be a surprise if they showed back up at some point. Claire says she was great. I liked her in this movie as well. Cass said, hot take. Only seeing the first two movies. I am not some big MJ fan, but I hope this movie changes my opinion. I'll tell you this. I can't say it's going to change your opinion. But I can say that you will have a bigger sample size to whether go one way or the other. You either going to love it because you got a bigger sample size of her acting in this one, or you going to be like, yep, I was right the first two movies. Either way, you'll be able to make a really informed decision off of her performance in this movie. So yeah. You know, one of the things that I'm not 100% sure, Clarence said, do we trust Sony going forward? Do they still have a Marvel deal? One of the posts credit scenes makes me feel like there's still a deal in place. Um, yeah, and I don't know, I could be reading that wrong. And when we talk spoiler talk, maybe we can get into that a little bit more. But I think I really and truly hope that Sony has just as much of a plan as the MCU did, because I'm not I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm gonna tell you what'll make me 100% sure is when I go to see Morbius. I feel like if you know what to do with a like side character, uh, a member of this rogues gallery of villains, if you know, or anti-heroes, if you know what to do with him, if you've learned something, then I would say that they've taken some notes. And I see you, Clarence, and I'm trying not to. I would hope they have taken some notes from working so closely with Marvel, or it is nothing for a director to move from one studio to the other. You want a director who understands this character, and I don't think that there's a reason why they wouldn't tap John Watts to at least see what the next step in his mind, what would be the next logical step to do with this character. I can think of a million things, and that's good. There's a lot of directions we could go in. So I'm with you, Clarence, about trusting them, because I haven't been the biggest. I didn't hate Venom, but I haven't been the biggest fan of these movies, the Venom movies. So that is one thing that I think about. Uh Cass. Yeah. So Clarence don't trust Sony. Cass saying Morbius is gonna flop massively. I really hope not. The trailer does. The trailer looks interesting to me. Is it just me? The trailer looks interesting to me. Oh gosh, yes, Clarence. They need whoever is over the animated movies to do the live action movies. At least write the screenplay for it. At least be the writer, because this story is the animated stories was fantastic. I have complete faith in, who is it? Their names are somebody in Miller. Those two guys, yeah, give me them on the or whoever wrote the play, whoever wrote the script for Into the Spider-Verse, give me them on the next installment of Spider-Man, especially since Amy Pascal dropped that she's looking at a trilogy for Spider-Man. And we also know that Tom Holland, if you Lord and Miller, that's who it is. Yes, thank you. Tom Holland, if you've been like reading his sound bites lately, uh Tom Holland talking about he want to start a family. He's saying that if he's still playing Spider-Man when he's 30, he did something wrong in his career. The young man is 25 already. The Lego movie guys, yes. He's 25 years old, and he's saying he wants to slow down, start a family, and if he's still doing Spider-Man at 30, he did something wrong. And sounds to me like he's ready to be done with this character. Uh, Cass said it only I only hope that it's a good movie. It's only hope that it is a good movie, that it will gain traction on video on demand, because it stands zero chance at the box office. Um, Angus said we need more Spider Gwen. I would not be shocked if we see that. We're gonna see it in Into the Spider-Verse. Spider Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse, voiced by Haley Steinfeld. So she's like pulling double duty in Marvel, in the Marvel universes. But yeah, I hope we choking. I hope we do see more from Gwen Stacy as well. Cass said Holland is talking out the side of his mouth. He'll be playing Spider-Man at 40 because it is one of the juiciest acting roles. Yes, but I think that I've been watching him in his career try his hardest not to get pigeonholed. So he does a Spider-Man, and at the same time he's doing another action type movie, Uncharted. And then he did those couple of movies that he did. The one he did with the Russos, I forgot what that was called. A couple of little movies that I saw on Netflix. And then he's doing this Fred Astaire thing. So he is very vocal about wanting to be the next Bond at 20 something years old. I don't know if they're going to do it, but that will tell you that you're going to have Bond, barring some catastrophe, you will have a Bond for at least the next 20 years. I think that it's a possibility that they take that chance. Cass said the only reason RDJ is not Iron Man because he realized he's aging out. I mean, we realize he's aging out. It's hard to convince, but also RDJ has given Oscar level performances before. He doesn't want to be stuck playing the same character where that's all he is. I'm not counting out the fact that I believe we'll see Robert Downey Jr. again in the MCU. I do believe it. And I know he died. I know he died. Clarence said he has to stay in amazing shape to play Spider-Man. Hugh Jackman burnt himself because of the fitness requirements. Yeah. And I think if Hugh Jackman knew that this character was going to come into this connected universe and that he wouldn't have to pull as much of the load as he had been pulling in this franchise, I think Hugh Jackman would have even said, you know what, I'll stick around for another couple years. But just like Cass said, he does also realize that he can't stay young forever, even though that doggone age regression technology that they used on Willem Dafoe and that they used on Alfred Molina was fantastic. And if this is what age regression looks like now, a character can play a character as long as they can continue to do, whatever part of it is really going to be them. Like Willem Dafoe said, he really wanted to be more active. He wanted to do a lot of his own stunts, and because of that, Willem Dafoe keeps himself in such good shape. Claire's also wait a minute. I'm skipping stuff. Cass said Holland has 20 plus years of one of the best possible acting roles. Claire said he's probably just thinking about the next phase of his career too. That's what I think. I think that he's saying he don't want to get pigeonholed. He doesn't want to be pigeonholed. And then she's saying that, saying that Robert Downey Jr. hasn't had an Oscar caliber role since Chaplin. And I'm saying we got Oppenheimer coming up, and we don't know what that man is going to do in that. And I believe if he is trying to reassert himself as a multifaceted type of actor, he is going to kill it in Oppenheimer. Cass said he's a great actor, but some of his choices, I mean, at a point in his career, he didn't have a choice, with the problems that he had. He spent a little time in prison, and he was, pretty addicted. I guess once an addict, you're always one. So he was addicted. So I think that given that his career has gotten a second life, then he is definitely he's definitely somebody to keep your eye on. You can't count him out. We probably counted him out with we probably counted him out when he went to jail, when he went to prison with the addiction and all this stuff. And now I'm like, the sky is the limit for Robert Downey Jr. He's 56 years old, so he's not like flipping. He's not ancient. There's an opportunity for him to have the best side of his career starting now. So I hope that's the case. Cass said, "Well, sadly, being a high end actor requires those sorts of sacrifices." Clarence said, "Oh my God, so good." uh, Kaz said, "Even in The Irishman, seeing the de-aging didn't throw me out, and that was 2 years ago." Um, said, "I have become Death, the destroyer of worlds." Cass said, "Geesh, I hope I'm not coming across too hard on Holland giving up the role. Just seems like a bad choice giving up this role. You can have your franchise and your side projects." And I'm in agreement, but he also knows that there's only so much of this story that has not been seen. Of course, working with a studio like Marvel with the MCU, um, we are seeing them dig deeper into the lore of Spider-Man and pulling out issues of the comic book, doing that old mashup thing that they do, and making something cohesive and beautiful on screen. So I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes with the Spider-Man role and then what they choose to do next. We know that Sony is uh, weighing what they want to do with their Spider-Verse, but I think what they decide they're going to do next is going to be what is the impetus for what Tom Holland does. Seeing Peter Parker becoming an adult, becoming the leader, then passing to a Miles seems like leaving money on the table, not doing that. And I can get it. And that right there, Clarence, it's like, yeah, he might just be playing his cards very, very close to the chest. You saw how he reacted the first time that merge that collaboration was in jeopardy. He got drunk and called Bob Iger. So I mean, maybe now he's realizing that, okay, Papa Iger ain't there no more. Kevin Feige, I still have trust in what he does and his vision. I'm going to use my leverage. The leverage I got is that I am, in a lot of people's eyes, I'm Spider-Man. Right. You say you haven't seen the movie. Spidey could die for all you know, but remember, this is a multiverse. So if Spider-Man dies, there's just another one. Said that would be a twist. It would. Yeah. So also, I guess another thing that I could get to a bit is what uh what Rotten Tomatoes is saying, because we haven't talked about that. I told you I thought this was a movie that is worth 5 stars, 5 out of 5 for me. 5 out of 5 for me. Anytime I'm sitting in the theater crying, it is what it is. It's 5. That's it. It's 5. It's 5. Well, let's see what Rotten Tomatoes has to say about the situation. And no movie is perfect, but this one is damn near close. This one is very close to perfection. And Rotten Tomatoes is indicating in huge fashion, because out of 260 uh, critics, we got a 94%. This one is certified fresh. It will never drop below that. The audience score is, with 5,000 verified ratings, 99%. So that is, to me, beautiful. It's a beautiful, wonderful indication that This movie hit all the notes that fans of the franchise were expecting it to hit, and that it leaves enough story available for us to look forward to what's going to come next. Clarence is agreeing with me with this 5 out of 5. Yes, yes. Cass said, I actually stopped putting any merit into a Rotten Tomato score in over a year. And I mean, it's truly, to me, it's just a metric. It's not something, I'm not telling nobody that if this score was bad to not go see the movie, because you might be one of the people who thought, okay, I see what the director was going for here. You might have an understanding that the next person doesn't. And I pay attention to that. Like, uh, sometimes there is a movie that, like, for instance, when I read some of these reviews, I'm like, this person didn't understand what what the point was. Like, Bilge Abiri said, while the previous Holland films have been mediocre in modest ways, No Way Home feels downright aggressive in its mediocrity. I don't get that. It's I mean, and I understand that different strokes for different folks, but I don't get that. Uh this another one that I read earlier today, short on story, long on insider humor. This Spidey entry marks a sudden drop off in quality, and I disagree. I think the quality in this one was equal, if not better, than what we've seen in the first two. In fact, I uh, I feel like the movies have progressively shown the growth of Spider-Man as a character. Um, Picking up from Angus here, Daniel Craig swore he wouldn't do a third Bond film, but there's enough money to make him take that back 3 times now. Yeah, I I'm really like, gosh, the man is 25 years old, and I'm talking Tom Holland now. 25 years old. He's saying he wants to start a family, which is weird. I mean, I ain't knocking it, because I had my son when I was 21, so I'm not knocking it, but I also wasn't leaving like $1 million deals on the table for having a family. So, uh, and I he's with Zendaya, and it's kind of hard for me to believe that she is ready to stop to have a family. So that's just something keep her eye on us. And she's not the only woman in the world, but I'm saying that's kind of weird. Cass said that is promising. Talking about this Rotten Tomato score, and Angus agrees. Damn, that's a fine Rotten Tomato score. Cass said, before watching this movie, I expected it to be the best MCU movie since Endgame, and my opinion remains the same. That's a safe bet. It's safe. Claire said, yes. Angus agreed, but it seems to be about more than the money for Holland. Yes. Again, where I stand is that he doesn't want to be pigeonholed. He wants to be a versatile actor. He wants to be taken seriously, and he wants the role that is going to. And I'm not saying that he could ever do this. Please do not come for me in these comments. But there's a point in your career where you start, if you want to be taken seriously, you start taking Daniel Day-Lewis chances. You do something different, and he's probably amongst the greatest actors living, and even though he's not currently working, he's one of the greatest living actors. And he did that by, number one, not getting pigeonholed in one of the in a genre, and this is what you do, this is just what you do. No, he could do anything. Cass said, I imagine if you didn't like the first two MCU Spider-Man movies, you probably wouldn't like this one. I think that's a safe bet too. Angus said, in this day and age, you have to seek out individual critical voices that matches your taste in order to take recommendations. Rotten Tomatoes can't be that. What Rotten Tomatoes can be is um, it could be a way that you find those independent, individual critical voices. Uh, for instance, all of these different critics who have rated this movie, you can say, oh, this person really, their vision, what they saw really lined up with what I saw, and then they become a trusted source. um I don't think that, I think that it should just be a guide and not something that you base whether you're going to see a movie on, because again, you got to account for taste. Some people don't have any. Cass said, I'm not a Bond fan, but Sweet Sassy, this last Bond film was my favorite ever. Didn't even watch it. I haven't seen the latest Bond film. I'm not a Bond girl. Like, I'm not even into the franchise at all. I may have seen a couple of the movies over the years, but it wasn't ever where I'm just following the franchise. So, um, and again, like we were saying earlier, if you wanted a satisfactory ending to Tom Holland's take on the Peter Parker character, then you got it. Um, if this character is moving over into the Sonyverse and we're going to see some mashups with those villains and Tom Holland, even if we get a trilogy over there, I would still be very interested to see how he comes back into the MCU, because Sony ain't crazy. They're going to make a movie with Tom Holland or with Spider-Man, and they're going to see how much money it does or doesn't make. And then they're going to come back, tail between their legs, like, come and make us another $1 billion, the MCU, or give us a blueprint. Cass said, I personally feel Peter Parker is an iconic role. It is not Mr. Fantastic or Aquaman. You can have depth over any other comic role that isn't arguably Batman. And yeah, I can almost agree. I think, and I think I said this the other day. Batman and Spider Man are the same type of character. That the role, the character is so recognizable across cultures. Is so recognizable. There's so much material that you can take from. There are so many stories that can still be told. So I think they should. I honestly believe that this right here could go on forever. But of course, you got so many other characters who could potentially, they could build a movie around. Like, you've got the Miles Morales character, and there was a joke about a black Spider-Man in the movie. So I'm like, was that put there as a hint that we might get a Miles Morales Spider-Man? Um, yeah. Oh, I didn't see this one, Angus. I look forward to the day when Tasha Pierce is a prominent on Rotten Tomatoes as a reviewer. I stumbled in here one day and noticed your love for Trek. Then the Carl thing happened. You know what? That's my one win. I got one win, and the Carl did it for me. Put me on the map with a whole bunch of people from that one video where I got that prediction kind of correct. And I I read a theory last week that was Dreamwalker, another one of my loyal Star Trek viewers. So, and I'm like, shoot, uh you might have hit the nail on the head, Dreamwalker. So hopefully he'll join us Sunday for Stream Something Sunday when we talk about Star Trek and Wheel of Time and Hawkeye, because he might be headed in the right direction with his theory. Cass said, I personally feel Peter Parker is. Oh, well, I read that one. Cass said, wowzers, if I could give you a high five for that analysis, I would. I don't know what analysis. I don't forgot what I said. It might have been like 10, 12 minutes ago. Walking Dead Carl. No, Carl from Star Trek. He was just like a little side character, and I kind of like guessed where out of Star Trek history that they would pull this character, and I was right. For once, I was right. Is Hawkeye worth watching? It absolutely is. It absolutely, totally, wootly is. I will not. I'm not gonna steer you wrong. It's worth it. In fact, this is something I watch John Campia from time to time, and when some of these shows was coming on Disney Plus, John Campia was like, well, the live action shows might cross over to the MCU, but these animated shows, they're not going to cross over. And lo and behold, it's going to be some crossover in between the animated series on Disney Plus and the MCU. And these TV shows are playing a huge role towards I guess exposition. Now, the shows themselves stand on their own, but I think they're serving as exposition for the movies so that you don't have to get these introductions of these characters. You know the characters by the time they get on the big screen, or you see them on the big screen. And if you want to know more about them, you're going to watch them on the small screen. They have got a very, I think they're gosh, what word am I looking for? I'm trying to pull a word. Where's the word? Gosh, what word am I looking for? The way they have this thing set up, their plan is chef's kiss, because it does, one thing leads into another, and to miss one part of these stories, you lose a whole lot of the nuance of what's going on in the big movies, if that's making sense. Angus says Kate Bishop is a very funny woman. Yes, she is. As is Yelena in a dry way. Yelena Belova is they might be a good pair. Cass says, I do like Jeremy Renner, and I love, well, not sure if it's a spoiler, but the Netflix villain actor. It is a spoiler, but it's one that a lot of people have already kind of we surmised. Clarence says, I want to see how gracefully they make the transition back to the movies, though. Like, in what way, Clarence? I might be misunderstanding your comment. Cass said, I haven't even seen it, and I know. Yeah, it's a lot of again, a lot of spoilers. It's very dangerous out there in the streets. We haven't seen that yet, with the exception to a certain post-credit scene. Well, I'm okay, because what we have seen is it come from the big screen to the small screen, but we haven't seen it vice versa. I get what you're saying. I mean, if look at how well WandaVision went. And I'm not saying we saw all of her story from the big screen, and it translated well to the small screen. So I feel like if just to flip that around, I feel like I'm not worried. I feel like they are going to nail it. I don't know why I'm having so many problems finding words today. Usually I got words to spare. Today I don't have no words. Loki seems like necessary viewing for future MCU viewing. It's going to become very important. Obviously, we're going to meet King the Conqueror, and when we meet him, because we have met already He Who Remains. When we meet King the Conqueror, um, we're going to see how important the Loki events were. And we know we're getting a second season of Loki as well. Gosh, Angus said, it's nice to see a Clint Barton beat up and worn out after running with gods and monsters. I agree. This, to me, humanizes him even more. And that was one of his, what a lot of people saw as a weakness of the character. But to me, it has always been a strength of his character and Natasha Romanoff. They had to deal with the human part of running around with the Avengers, and there is so much that you're learning about Hawkeye, his family. And I even going back to Age of Ultron, that is when I fell in love with that character, because in Age of Ultron, you saw him, he's worn out, he's having his heart to heart with Wanda. He tells her, these people are out here with are gods and are enhanced, and I'm out here with a bow and arrow. Don't even make sense, but I'm going back out there, and if you go back out there, you're an Avenger. Yay! That was one of my favorite parts of that movie, my favorite Hawkeye moments. And yeah, here we are, making new favorite moments. Angus, I'm sorry. Cass said, other than Evan Peters, every bit of WandaVision was perfect. Yeah, it's because we thought we were smart as fans, and they knew what we were going to think, and they did it because they want you to let you know you're not going to be able to telegraph every move that they make. It was a rotten trick, but I understand. Clara said they have to give enough backstory to make what they went through in the TV shows work, which I think they can do. Yeah, I think like the backstory, the TV shows is what to me is the backstory. It's like we are not going to dig into Hawkeye's a week in Hawkeye's life at any other time except for during the TV show. We're not going to see a week focused on Echo, a new character, Moon Knight, a new character. In the MCU, it's like when we bring these characters into the MCU, we want them ready to be a part of the team or to be the anti-hero that that we have come to know from the comics or whatever. They want them ready when they get in the MCU. And I think that's a good idea. I really do. Or they want to give us a very surface introduction in the MCU, and then you got to be ready to hold your own on this TV show because people have to know exactly who you are. Kind of like Riri Williams, how we are expecting to see her in Black Panther, the Wakanda Forever movie. We expect to see her there, but we know she's getting a show, and I'm really interested, of course, in meeting her. I wonder if she's going to. I was about to drop a spoiler. See, had to catch myself. Boy, I tell you, like landmines. I almost dropped one myself. Angus said, there's more screen time with the series than in the movies. More time for those backstories and character development. Yes, that's what I love about these shows. Claire said, I loved how we are still getting expanded repercussions of the snap, meaning the Ronin. Yes. And we are seeing this snap happen from a lot of different directions, a lot of different points of view, perspectives, I guess. And because for a hot second, I was like, wait a minute. Like at the end of the Venom movie, and I hope I'm not spoiling it, but that Venom movie been out for a little while. I can drop this bomb. I'm going to. So get ready. I'm about to drop a Venom spoiler. To me, for a second, I was like, did he get snapped? I had to remember what year it was. Uh, if he came back and saw Tom Holland, it was long after everybody else came back. So that was even one of the things that ran through my mind. Cass said, I know nothing about Moon Knight, really. It is Oscar Isaac's casting that intrigues me the most. Moon Knight is like he's got dissociative identity disorder. So we are about to see a character, or the character in the comic books had dissociative identity disorder. So if they go this route in the TV show, and I believe they are, we are going to see Oscar Isaac stretch his acting muscles, because you got all of these different facets of one character. I am extremely excited to see what happens with him. Yes, Spectrum and WandaVision, Carly and Falcon. Yes. And it was like you get to see all of these different, what happened after the snap. And it was very eye-opening to see the point of view, for instance, of Monica Rambeau. She had fallen asleep, so it's easy to wake up and be disoriented about where you are. We watched another character who I'm not going to say, because we're not talking about spoilers for that show, but we watched another character have an entirely different experience when they got snapped away, and that shit looked freaky and scary to me. I would have been more scared in her position. Cass said, I feel like I'm on the outside when it comes to characters like Riri Williams. I don't want Iron Man 2. I want new. So you want a whole different Iron. You don't want the Iron Man character at all. You want a new character. Make me understand for sure what you're saying. Angus said, Duke Atreides was the first role from Oscar Isaacs that I truly enjoyed. If he does something really good in the MCU, I'll be happy. Oscar is great. I am co-signing on Mr. Brown here. Oscar is a fantastic actor. And yeah, I think you might be happy. Hopefully he gives a performance that we know that he can. You're not a Star Wars person, Angus. But yeah, let me see, what else do I have about Spider-Man No Way Home, because we've gone all the way into the deeper MCU, and I'm not mad at it. Check out Ex Machina. That's a word, I'm telling you. It's some words that I can't say. But I think I did that one. Barely. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Poe. Yeah, I liked him. Um so yeah, get to see the movie. If you're into the MCU, get to see the movie. Try your hardest. It is fantastic. I don't think you'll be disappointed, but if you are, don't feel free to tell me about it, because I do want to know. Angus said, I like Star Wars a lot. I did see Ex Machina. I didn't enjoy either of those performances, though. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's one thing. It's one thing for him to be in it. There's something entirely different about him being enjoyable. And I thought, again, we can agree to disagree. Yeah, he didn't hate him, just didn't love him. Yeah. And everything ain't for everybody. So yeah, um, I think I've said as much as I think I can uh, without jumping on the spoiler train. Lysandra says she wished that she could sit that long to watch it. It's coming. And I mean, I don't know what streaming. I guess they would have to come to, because Sony has this crazy deal with Netflix where their movies go to Netflix first, and then anybody else can get them. They can make a deal with somebody else after Netflix has them. So Netflix is going to likely get Spider-Man No Way Home before Disney Plus does. I don't know when. I doubt very seriously that they will pull this movie in 45 days unless it just doesn't have legs, which I can't imagine, because I know I'm going back to see it again. But if it doesn't have legs, if it doesn't continue uh, making money after the 45-day window, maybe they will consider sending it. Maybe they will consider sending it to streaming early. Um, okay, Angus, you said Doom bought you around on Oscar. Good. And hopefully you're not disappointed with his performances as Moon Knight. What's the next big movie besides The Matrix? I honestly believe it's Morbius. And if if you're counting that as a big movie, let me see. I believe it's Morbius though. Morbius is coming out January 27th. It seems like that's the next big one. I'm gonna pull my calendar up just to be sure, because I had that thing made out for almost a year. Like I just know I'm gonna be around. Gosh, let's see. Matrix. Let me just see. Nothing there. Nope, I don't have nothing. We got, if you're into the old school horror movies, Scream is coming out on January 14th. And then it is Morbius. Yep. And then after that, Moonfall, which I don't know. Did the theater that you went to, Clarence, did it show the trailer for that Moonfall? It showed a better trailer in this movie. The movies that I have seen the trailer in previously was not that fantastic. It didn't make me say, okay, I want to see it. Now I kind of got a little bit of an interest in it. A little bit. But yeah, we might be waiting until freaking February for a really big movie, because I believe Uncharted is going to be a big movie, and they're moving down into March. Oh, you got there late. I wish I would have gotten there late, Clearance. But I mean, I did. I was glad that I saw that trailer, because it's like I was thinking, okay, the first couple of times I saw this trailer, it wasn't something that jumped out at me. This time it did. It showed a little bit more of Holly Berry's role. It showed a little bit more of oh gosh, a funny guy. I can't remember his name, but it showed a little bit more of him, and I'm like, okay, okay, I might be able to do Moonfall. But if not, we'll be waiting for Uncharted and the Batman as far as big releases. Angus said the astrophysics of the moon hitting the surface of the planet, ain't no survivors above the size of a bacterium. Exactly. And then they're saying that this in the trailer, my understanding was that this was something that was being done by something sentient. Something sentient was moving the moon. So we'll see. I think I am going to go see it. I think it might end up being a film review Friday type of movie. It is literally a moonfall. Yes. It is like what was the movie with the I mean, they did this movie several times. They did Deep Impact. They did Armageddon. It's like Armageddon on steroids. Like Oh my goodness, we are about to get hit by the whole flipping moon, the whole moon. He said that's a Gundam colony crash plot. I don't even know what that means. I don't know why. I just found it funny because I'm like, yeah, they jumped the shark for real. Like, forget just breaking off a piece of the moon or an asteroid or something. We want the whole entire moon. Because first of all, as soon as the moon moves out of, out of position, the tides are going to go crazy. So it's just, yeah, Angus, just like you said, that we totally locked. The rocket doesn't have to move, doesn't have to be too big either. Just slow down its orbital velocity a bit, and Earth's gravity will do the rest. Yep. So yeah, I mean, we'll be effed up no matter what. But I'm gonna give a movie a chance. I'm gonna watch it. This is Holly, Holly Berry. Shoot. So, y'all got anything else on Spider-Man No Way Home? We got any comments? Anybody want to give their spoiler-free thoughts? Anything else that y'all want to say about this movie? Um, Let me know now. Forever hold your peace, because Pook is in here cooking dinner. Now I don't know what she's making, but it smells so divine. I saw her cutting up potatoes, so I know potatoes is part of this whole thing. Hopefully, Oh, you know, I tell you the truth. I'm always trying to flash y'all. I apologize. The shirt. You said, oh, Claire said Ned was great. He was. And it gives us so much to look forward to. Yeah, Ned was great. Angus said, gonna see No Way Home as soon as you're able. Yeah, and just if you are not trying to be spoiled, tread lightly all over this thing, because people are trying to ruin the movie. They've been putting whole parts of the movie on YouTube, like this whole scenes. Oh, Claire, did you answer me when I asked you, did your theater go crazy at certain points in this movie? Yeah, you did tell me. You did tell me. Man, it was so live in there. I felt like it was a sporting event. But everybody knew we're gonna have this moment. We having it together, and we're gonna shut the F up. We're gonna sit here and watch this movie. You love Ned too, huh, Angus? Yeah. You say you got more, but you can't say it without spoilers. Yeah, I think we need to set an appointment, all of us, that we are all going to be available to do a spoiler discussion, because um it has to be done. We got to talk about the plot points, because the movie was so fantastic. My son is going to see it, I believe, this weekend, so I might even be going back. I don't know. I'm not afraid to go when he go. Yeah. And then there's crazy stuff. Okay, before I go, I'm gonna tell y'all one crazy story, and it have nothing to do with Spider-Man or anything, no movie. This is just a personal story. Yesterday, I ordered some chicken after I got home from the movies. I was very hungry. I was very hungry indeed. So I ordered me some chicken, and then sitting outside waiting on the DoorDash driver to bring my chicken. So it's about 9 o'clock when, by the time I got really hungry, and they delivered. So anywho, the lady comes walking up. Now, the first thing I noticed when I saw the lady walking up as I'm sitting outside is this lady got on a whole house coat. Like, she is dressed like literally like she is just got out of bed and would pick my food up. So okay, she got this house coat on, whatever. I didn't even pay attention to the clothes. I know she had on some house shoes too. But anywho, I noticed that she had my drink and my bag on one arm. So I'm like, I ain't never seen nobody do that. Why she get out the car like that? It was not Popeyes, Clarence. It was KFC. And so the lady was walking up, and she gets on the steps. I'm like trying to get get up to go and meet her so she don't have to walk up all the steps. And I noticed this heifer got a gun out. And I just got stuck. It's like I saw the gun and I'm like, literally, I froze. So, like, all of the training of growing up on the rough streets of Gary, Indiana went out the window. She went out the window. Blasphemy. We're gonna talk about your chicken choices, Mr. Brown. But yeah. This lady had this gun out. And then when she's talking to me, she's gesturing with the flipping gun. So I'm stuck, scared. Like, I don't know why you got this gun. She told me she had gotten into it with somebody in the parking lot of my apartment. But as she's talking to me with this gun still out, it's like I'm the threat to her or something. She's like, people don't understand. I'm a single mother of a 10-year-old. I'm about to get divorced. I'm getting kicked out of my apartment. I just lost my job today. I'm like, this lady don't have nothing to live for. She coming up here with a gun. She might feel like I don't either. But I was just like, I'm so sorry that that all of that is going on. She was like, that's okay, because I'll bounce back. The Lord got me. Now she's pointing up in the sky with this gun. The Lord got me. And then she said, plus I'm on psych medicine. And I was like, oh. She was like, she on psych meds. And she said she was on psych meds and she forgot to take her night dose. And I was like, all right, thank you so much for my food. And I'm about to say peace out. It just was the weirdest freaking experience. The crazy thing, I had just talked to Lysandra about half an hour, wasn't even a half an hour before. We were talking and she was telling me about some weird ass conversation that she had with some guy. And I was like, people don't just come and say stuff like that to me. Why do people say stuff like that to you? And then it wasn't even 30 minutes later, here this thing came. So that was that was the night I had after Spider-Man. Just weird. He said, you sure that's against the DoorDash terms of service? Yes. But now this heifer knows where I live, and I don't know how many other apartments that she walked up to with a gun. She knows exactly who told if I call and report it. And I thought about it, but I was like, nope, she know where I live. And I said the same thing, Clarence. I was like, because I called Lysandra as soon as it was over, because typically I will order my food. Lysandra and me are on the phone, and she'll talk to me until the food gets there, and then I'll eat. And that's the end of our, But this, yeah, Lysandra is usually on the phone with me. But this time, my sister called, and I told y'all before, my sister is a woman of very few words. She gonna say what she said. She gonna get off the phone. She is not Dee. She is not Lysandra. We're not about to be on the phone for 5 or 6 hours. If we do, something is crazy happening. It's crazy. So my sister called, but we got off the phone because I thought the food was gonna be there soon. And yeah, I usually would have called Bond back. I usually would have called her back, and I didn't. And all of this happened. I was like, see, I should have had somebody. My son in the house, music. My son does meditation, so his meditation music was loud. I'm like, I could probably get shot out here and nobody would know it. Yes, it was something. When I said that to Lysandra, I was like, this felt like something out of like the worst, most ghetto movie ever. She had on a house coat, some slippers, a flipping gun, and my food. Yeah, Cass. He said it's a heck of a way to rejoin the stream. Yes, it was a wild night. I was so scared because I'm like, usually I am far more vigilant than that. I don't know how I didn't see what she had in her hand as she was walking up. But yeah, it was a gun. And she told me that she was having such a hard time. And I mean, I understand you having hard times, but baby, times ain't gonna do nothing but get harder. But even though in Texas you can walk around with a gun, so I guess that's one thing. You can walk around with a gun out here. Say I'll be on the phone from now on. Believe that. Spider sense was not tingling. Not at all. Not at all. I'm standing out there just no defenses. But I bet you next time I'll be ready. I'm gonna have something with me. I don't even have to be sitting outside, but I got that habit where I don't smoke in the house. I got a habit, so I had to go outside. Anywho, when y'all want to do spoiler talk? The spider sense was not. I was, boy, I was out there bad last night, looking to get killed. Same way I was in the darn Uber on the way. It wasn't as terrible as that experience, but the man was like making last second decisions, and I am very I drive very safe. I just, if I know I'm gonna have to make a right turn somewhere down the line, I just stay in the right lane. If I know I'm gonna have to make a left, I get over as soon as I possibly can. This man was scaring me because he was making his decisions like at the last available minute, and I'm like, you're gonna have to turn up here. I'm getting the anxiety, and I didn't take no gummy before I left because I was like, I don't want to be. I ain't trying to spend $50 in the movie trying to feed no munchies, especially we're gonna be sitting there for 2.5 hours. So now the anxiety is hitting because this man is like taking chances with my life, and I'm like, I can't, I cannot, I just felt myself wanting to escape. Movies ain't but 5 minutes from my house. I don't know. I don't know how you can make the ride that uncomfortable in 5 minutes. Said $50 for munchies. Thank you for the laugh. I mean, shoot, at the movies, yes. The if I was okay, I get the popcorn because I'm a shareholder, so they'll give me a bucket of popcorn, and then I got a drink. The drink, I don't even get the big tub of drink. I get the smaller drink. They got regular and large. Regular was like $6 and some change. Now imagine getting the munchies and like starting to want stuff. Now I want candy, and now I want a hot dog, and now I want some nachos. Imagine having that going on while you in the movies. You gotta feed the munchies. It's like they not going nowhere. So that popcorn was gonna be gone real quick, and then I was gonna be looking for something else, and I don't have $50 to get an AMC. I feel your pain because the pain is real. It is. It is. But I haven't had no gummy today either. I've been on my best behavior because I've been sitting at home. Haven't had no reason to reach for the medicine. But yeah, I don't really have anything else. I hope everybody that's out there today has subscribed to me. Subscribe to my channel. I need subscribers. I need a whole lot. I need watch time and everything else, but I need subscribers. So that's what you can do, and it won't cost you a dime. You can subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, so you will know the next time we sit down and talk about all the stuff that we talk about. We'll be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time, where you can discuss with us the weekly wrap up. I'm pretty sure we'll be talking a whole lot more about Spider-Man and other entertainment news that I'm not 100% sure of because I haven't made no itinerary for tomorrow. How about that? And yeah, and then I'm here on Sunday. I'm here quite a bit, like every day, except for Tuesday and Thursday. Those are the only 2 days that I'm not here. Reinhardt said, "I'm sorry tonight has been a mess. I didn't read the." Reinhardt, you already apologized. We already said it's cool. You know, you say you're filling out a new job paperwork, so now you have 2 jobs. You'll be better prepared next time. You ain't got to worry about that, sir. 2 jobs. Man, Reinhardt, that car That car got you having to work 2 jobs. You need to get rid of it, even though it's a nice car. Cass said, "This is the most fun you've had talking movies all week. So thanks. Oh, you are welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's you guys who make it fun. I mean, I could just be sitting here talking to myself, but I got all of you, and you guys have made it wonderful." And Angus is further reaffirming that Reinhardt, you are just fine, sir. You know, shit happens. Shit happens. Next time we will out. Next time I'll do what Clarence asked me to do about the other shows, and I'll write no spoilers. I had just said it so many times, but maybe I should have had the banner going across the bottom that said it was no spoilers for Spider-Man, so you would have known exactly what was going on. So I'm gonna accept my part of this, the responsibility for the mishap. How about that? So yeah, I don't have anything else. It's dinner time, it sounds like. I don't have to go out here. Hopefully nobody has a gun. See, you said you had to talk about it somewhere. Exactly. That's what you guys are here for. I just gotta talk. And I gotta get spoilers off my chest. So we gonna have to sit and have another conversation soon, and just mark it up as a spoiler conversation, because I do want to get some of this stuff off my chest. Things I want to say. Can't say it. But yeah, it's been fun. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me, and I hope that you all choose to join me tomorrow, if at all possible, to do the wrap up. Come in. Yes. Yes, Pukadilla. You know I can't see because the light is right in my eye. I can't see you.
Get out.
Huh?
Dinner's ready.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming to eat now. All right, guys.
The potatoes are in the oven.
Okay.
But the papa's on the stove.
Okay.
They just came in here.
Yeah, now my cats is in here. Doggone it. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Who those of you who will join me. Oh, Dilla is coming to say what's up.
Bye
Say what's
bye.
up. What's up?
What's up?
Okay.
Bye bye.
See you later, alligators. Peace.